as Armistice Day or Remembrance Day. The day commemorates the armistice signed for the cessation of hostilities in the First World War. Up next, we honor those Jamaicans who fought in this global battle for peace.
Remembrance Day is an annual event common in the countries of the Commonwealth, commemorated to remember those servicemen and civilians who were sacrificed during World Wars I and II and other major conflicts. Remembrance Day is observed on the 11th of November each year and bears the significance of the precise moment in which the First World War ended. Remembrance Day is also known as Poppy Day or Armistice Day in some countries of the Commonwealth. Lest we forget.
I shall grow not old, as those that are left grow old. Age shall not weary me, neither my years condemn. From the going down of the sun to the uprising of the sun, we will remember them.
The cenotaph is a monument erected in honor of our war dead. It was first unveiled on Church Street, downtown Kingston, on November 11, 1922, shortly after the First World War ended. It was removed to the National Heroes Park in 1953. Even though in some instances cenotaphs are put up on the site where the remains of the dead are interred, in Jamaica's case, most of our war dead are buried at Briggs Park Cemetery, located at the Jamaica Defence Force headquarters in Kingston and on the site of Curfew Home in Glastonbury near Newport in Manchester. A tablet set halfway up the front of the monument bears the inscription, "In memory of the men of Jamaica who fell in the Great War." It is supported by the promise that their names live on forevermore. It is still not known how many Jamaican men and women served in the First World War, a global military conflict fought on mainland Europe between 1914 and 1918. Based on statistics from the Jamaica Legion and the Royal Air Force Association, some 5,000 of our men and women volunteered for World War II, a naval, aerial and ground-based combat, the deadliest reported in history, fought from 1939 to 1945.
They were fighting for freedom, but in fact you have to recognize they were fighting for a lot more than that. Jamaicans who left and went to war didn't have to go. In the colonies, as we were in those days, you weren't forced. A British citizen from England had to go. He was conscripted and had to go. Jamaicans volunteered, and so they were making a commitment without being forced. They were volunteering, and I think today that is the significance of it, is the fact that they were making a voluntary sacrifice to go to war.
Nobody knows how many Jamaicans were casualties of the world wars. But several of our ex-servicemen and women did not return home.
It is painful because most of them are young people, early 20s and late teens, and they gave the supreme sacrifice.
It is to protect peace and harmony for the Western Hemisphere, and I'm proud of that I was one of them.
lest we forget.
They gave the supreme sacrifice that we may be free, because from the Germans we knew that the Jews and dark people, colored people of my race would be wiped out if they won the war. And it has bonded us together. And no society is as close as the RF Association. We bear each other burdens and we live for each other.
In excess of 500 ex-servicemen who fought in World Wars I and II are still alive today. Some remain in their private homes, others are severely incapacitated and have become shut-ins, while others live together in the Jamaica Legion-run Curfew Home in Manchester.
We also look after a number of ex-servicemen by giving grants to them and their families on a monthly basis. And all the fundraising, the charity that is represented by the puppy, is fundraising for those purposes, to look after those that are in need.
14 ex-servicemen, including a lady, currently live at Curfew Home in Glastonbury, Manchester. Delroy Smith is the welfare officer at the Jamaica Legion.
Our main source of funding is the puppy appeal, which was last month and still going on until some time now. We do have concert in the garden, and we also get some funding from the Canadian High Commission and from the British. Fortunately, Jamaica is the only government that give a subvention to any legion.
The Jamaica Legion encourages members of the public to take an active interest in the welfare of the country's ex-servicemen. They are opened year-round to individual and corporate contributions and welcome any reports on the condition of our war veterans. Reports can be directed to the Jamaica Legion's headquarters at Curfew Place, Swallowfield, St. Andrew. Lest we forget.
We need to care more for our, not only ex-soldiers, but, elderly, because they cannot do, they've done what they're supposed to do already, and it's our time to help them to get on with life.
Roy Knight seems to relight the flame of his youth when he remembers being barely 21 and embroiled in conflict for an international cause.
In the 39 to 45, World War II.
Okay, and what was that experience like for you?
It was a very good experience. I experienced that we were not known by the British, because most people would ask you, where is Jamaica, what part of Africa it is. And when they do recognize Jamaica, they only knew of George Headley and bananas. That's all they knew about us.
Lest we forget. The Royal Air Force Association and the Jamaica Legion will continue to highlight the value and needs of our ex-servicemen who will not let us forget the ultimate sacrifice they made for peace and harmony in the West.
And this is where we'll have to close the pages of Jamaica Magazine for today. Tune in again tomorrow for another informative and interesting edition. Remember, this and other programs can be viewed online at www.jis.gov.jm. You're also invited to give us your feedback at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the team here at the JIS, I'm Alison Watson. Have a great evening.